Hi guys, welcome to this beginner's tutorial video on how to get started with Google Classroom. And in this particular video, I'm going to run you through how to log into your Google Classroom accounts, how do you create a class, enroll students into the class, and also for effective management of your course content, how you can create topics within your Google Classroom so that you can categorize and organize your content. Okay, so let's get started. To log into your classroom, all that you need to do is get logged into your Google account. So when you're logged into your Google account, your initial features on the top right hand side corner that tells you that you're signed into your account. And to the left of your initial, you'll find an icon from where you can access a lot of Google apps. And one of the Google apps that we are discussing today is Google Classroom. So when you click on that, you get a drop down, and this drop down gives you a large number of apps that you can use. And the app that we are interested in today is Classroom. So when you click on that, you get exported to another tab which opens your Classroom in front of you. Right? In case you want to access it through the browser, all that you need to do is type classroom.google.com. When you do that, you're practically taken to the same page as you are when you access this app from the app icon which is there on your Google home screen. Right, so what we are going to be doing now is to try and see how we can create a class. Now naturally, if you're logging into your Google Classroom account for the very first time, your page is going to look a lot different because on my screen you already see a certain number of classes having been created. If you're logging into your Google Classroom account for the first time, then you'll not see any classes here. This window is going to be blank, but the ribbon is going to contain the same options here. So you have the top ribbon which has on the right hand side a plus icon. This plus icon, on clicking, drops you down to two options, either to join class or to create a class. Now the join class option is going to be more useful for your students, whereby once you send the link to join your class, they'll be able to use that link to connect to your class. And the create class option is going to be more useful for you. But having said that, you can also join each other's classes as a course instructor. Typically, when you are sharing certain parts of the course, then it's beneficial that you collaborate with one another so that students can get all the content of a certain course in that one classroom, basically. Right? So that's the join class option, and you also have a create class option. So let's go ahead and create a class. So when I click on create class, I get exported to a pop-up which says that I need to enter a classroom name. I can also choose to enter certain other add-on information like section, subject, room, etc., but they are not mandatory. And also note that all these three heads are completely customizable even at a later stage if you want to edit them. What you just need to start out with is to name your class, and you can get started with your class already. So here I'm going to just name the class as Demo Video 1, and I'm going to click on Create. When I do that, it's going to create the classroom for me, and it's going to take me through to the portal from which I can access all the content pertaining to this particular classroom, basically. So what you see here once again is a top ribbon, but the top ribbon has a few additional options that you can explore. There is a stream that gives you a live feed of everything that you're doing within this classroom. You have a classwork tab, you have people tab, and you have grades tab. And as we go on with our tutorial series, I'll cover most of what you can do with your classroom. Below this top ribbon, you see a theme basically of your class, which has your class title. We created it as Demo Video 1, so that's what features here. And then this is also completely customizable. You can select a theme, you can upload a photograph. So there are some custom themes that are available within Google pertaining to the subject that you teach, more or less. So for English and history, they have a few inbuilt themes. For math and science, they have some themes. For arts, they have some themes, and so on. So if I select a theme for science and click OK, it immediately changes the overall view of the theme of my page or my classroom. Or if I'm not satisfied with one of the theme options which is inbuilt within the Google Classroom framework, I can also upload a photograph and I can access that over here. Right, so that's how a class is created. Now, once your class is created, you would want to go ahead and start enrolling your students into your class. And there are a few ways to do that. One of them is the class code, which features typically below the course title that you've given for your classroom. And you see something called as a class code. If you press the display button, then you will get it to pop up on a bigger screen, so that if you're live in front of your class and you want them to see these see the class code so that they can enter them on their mobile phones, mobile apps, etc., they will be able to view it from a distance. Or else you can even copy this, you can make it full screen, or you can copy it and share it with your class as well. So when you share this class code to your students on any platform like WhatsApp or anything, they can log into their Google accounts and they can join the class using this class code. Right? So let us see how join a class will look like from the student point of view. So if I'm logged in as a student, the student view looks somewhat like this. So all that the student has got to do is click the same plus icon on the top right hand side corner, but rather than creating a class, he would say join class, and it immediately prompts to enter the class code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the class code here. So your students will physically be copying the class code that you share with them. You're going to enter here and click on join. Once the join class is successful, this class is going to get added to the list of classes on the home page. Here you see demo video 1, and when I click the course, I get all the updates in the stream. I have classwork, people, and so on. Right? So let's see what happens to the instructor view then. So now when I go to people, I do see one student enrolled to my class using the class code. And when you click on the 3 dots which are adjacent to the name of the student, you will be able to send an email to the student, or you can communicate with the student. Or else if you click the checkbox here to the left of the name, you can do a few things, like you can either send an email, you can remove the student if it is an unauthorized entry into the class, or you can also mute the student. Sometimes it's helpful in managing the class, because a certain number of times these students are a little too enthusiastic to post a lot of things, during which time the important updates from the course instructor may be lost. So if you feel that there are certain students who are prone to upload a lot of content which is not authorized by you, then you can put them on mute, so they'll not be able to initiate a chat or initiate a post, but they'll be able to still reply and they'll be able to submit their assignments and everything goes on as normal, except that they can't initiate a post on your classroom. So you are the boss in your class, so to speak, so you can control your class just like you do in a physical classroom situation. Alright, let's get back to customizing our classroom. We've already looked at how we log into our Google Classroom. We've also looked at how to create a class. Simple click of 2 or 3 buttons gets you started with a class already. And once you share the class code with your students, you will be in a position to have them connected to your class, and after which sky's the limit to what you can do with Google Classroom and manage your course. Right? Another way to also enroll would be to click on this invite student tab here under people. So if at all I click on invite student, then I'll have a possibility of typing a name or email from the list of emails that are already there in my address book. So if I do get some prompts of which email, which student I want to send an invite to, etc. But having said that, this is a much more laborious way of inviting students to your class, especially if your class size is quite large. What is recommended is that you use the group code feature, and the group code feature is not something unique to Google Classroom. A lot of learning management systems use group code as a means to get enrolled into a classroom. Typically Edmodo does the same thing. You could do the same thing with Moodle as well. So since that's relatively the fastest way to get your class connected to you, that's the most preferred method of enrolling students. Alright, so let's go to classwork and see what you can do there. So in this video, as I had visualized, we went through login, we went through creation of a class, we went through how to get students enrolled to our classroom, and the last agenda of this particular video is to create certain topics so that you can organize your content better. And for creation of a topic, all you need to do is hit the create icon or a create tab here, which is within your classroom, and it drops down to give you various things that you can create. You can either create an assignment, a quiz, question, material, and there is a topic which is right underneath over here. So when I click on topic there, it gives me a pop-up and asks me what is the name of the topic that you want. So the name of the topic can be, say, content, and I add that. And as I do that, I see the content topic already displayed. Now I go to the student view, and in the student view I go to classwork, and the best feature about Google is that it keeps prompting you and guiding you through if at all you don't understand a certain thing. So here it says track your progress. You can see a list of your work and its current status, etc. Even though I've created a topic called content in my instructor view, I'm not able to see anything from the student view point of or the student login, so to speak. The reason for that is that it says students can only see topics with published posts. So if you have a post that is published within a topic, only then will the student be able to see the topic. Otherwise, the student is not going to be able to view the topics that you've created. Right? So let me create another topic on titled assignments. Add that. So I have two topics now, content, assignment. If you have multiple topics and you want to organize them, let me add another one as resources. Okay, so I have three topics created, perfectly customizable. Naturally, the order that we wanted to feature is content should come first, then you should have some additional resources that you want your students to go through, and finally after they are done with these two, they should be able to take up their assignment. So even if you've not thought that through while you were creating the topics, you can shuffle them around and have them placed in an order that you feel is most apt to conduct your classroom. Right, so that's a brief overview on how you can get started with your Google Classroom. So I encourage all of you to go ahead and try it out yourself and see whether you are able to successfully create a class, create the group code, share it with your students, get them connected, and then you can start interacting with them in a live feed. Another feature that you can try out at this moment is you can share something with your class. So sometimes, since it's a platform that's relatively new, students are also trying to get acquainted and they'll be pretty excited to try out all the new stuff. You can share a welcome message. Hi students, welcome to this course, say for example. And you can hit post. When you do that, once the post is created, students will be able to see that in their stream. Let me refresh the page. So I see that my course instructor has sent a message here, and what people can do is they can go ahead and start commenting on this particular post. They could say hi sir, welcome, and so on. Another useful thing is to say what rights you wish to give to your students. So when you go to the settings tab, which is on the top right hand side corner, you see in the stream students can post and comment, and sometimes this is not the best way to conduct your class. So what we recommend is you keep this to students can only comment, so they cannot initiate posts. Initiation of posts is going to be by the instructor only, but once there is a post that is created, the post can be commented on by students, so that keeps your class a little more organized and without having stray posts which may really take away from the core kind of a thing why you created the class. So that's about it. I'll see you on the other side, wherein I'll be discussing a lot about how you can create assignments, share them with your students, and then we'll be looking at various other modules like creation of quiz. What does the question field do? How is it different from a quiz or an assignment? All that on the other side. Take care.